Stephanie Jones went to Blake Lively and said, hey, do you want all these text messages and emails that you can use against Justin Baldoni? So she is the person who leaked all the private text messages and emails to Blake Lively.
Blake Lively just hit a new low, bribing a disgraced publicist so shady even Justin Baldoni had to cut ties. Clearly no one in Hollywood trusts her anymore.
She's a scary figure that, as previously reported, a lot in Hollywood are afraid of.
Desperate to salvage her flopping career, Blake allegedly begged for inside info on Justin's team to spin the narrative in her favor.
Most of you are justifiably and rightfully angry at Blake Lively. But there's another character in this It Ends With Us drama that deserves a lot more attention, and that's Justin Baldoni's former publicist, Stephanie Jones.
This whole thing is like watching an A-list drama. Betrayal, stolen phones, dirty leaks, and lawsuits flying like glitter at a Drag Race finale. Justin Baldoni, who was supposed to be her co-star, is now suing his ex-publicist, Stephanie Jones, because she allegedly leaked a whole bunch of private information that conveniently just so happened to land right in Blake's PR team's lap.
And now Justin, thankfully, along with Jennifer Abel, are suing his former publicist, Stephanie Jones, alleging that she maliciously leaked texts that sparked the legal battle with Blake Lively.
Suspicious? No, not at all. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, just like Blake's consistent ability to pretend she's always the victim while collecting L's, like it's a limited edition drop. Let's talk about the woman behind the mess, Stephanie Jones. You know, the head of Jones Works and the walking HR violation wrapped in designer clothes. She used to represent Justin Baldoni, Wayfair, and other huge names.
First, Brian Friedman's comment on this. It's undeniable that Stephanie Jones initiated this catastrophic sequence of events by violating the most basic of privacy rights, as well as any remaining trust her clients held.
Basically, she had power, like real industry power. And you know what happens when people like that start to lose control? They go full Bond villain, and that's exactly what she did. The second Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan, her employees, wanted to leave and start their own thing, Jones didn't just wish them luck and hand them a Starbucks gift card. No, she went scorched earth.
So basically, yeah, Stephanie Jones is fired by Wayfair. She's there defending Justin against Blake in the early days of the PR battle, the retaliation campaign.
This woman didn't even bother hiding the revenge arc. She lured Jennifer Abel into what was supposed to be a legal meeting, and instead of a meeting room with coffee and awkward small talk, Abel walks into a room guarded by a literal security guard, an attorney, and a data extraction expert.
And this is her revenge, which has hurt so many people.
Like, what is this? A Marvel movie? Stephanie acted like she was protecting the nuclear codes when in reality, she was just bitter her ex-employees dared to have ambition. The pettiness levels are astronomical.
And so now suddenly Stephanie Jones switches teams and gets this phone from Jennifer Abel, which we're going to go through more of the specifics that are alleged in here, and then immediately gives it over to Blake's publicist, Leslie Sloan.
And guess what she allegedly got from that little trap? Abel's personal phone. Not a company phone, not a shared work device, her personal phone. That's bank info, private texts, iCloud, photos, literally someone's life. Snatched like edges in a windstorm. And then, like the unhinged PR villain she clearly is, Stephanie allegedly handed all that private data over to Blake Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan.
This is how messed up Stephanie Jones is. It's crazy.
You know, just your regular Tuesday in Hollywood, stealing a phone, leaking the contents, and feeding them to a fading actress who desperately needed a PR win.
No stranger to stirring up crisis scenarios for departing clients, Miss Jones maliciously turned over communications from the phone she wrongfully took from her own partner to her cohort, Lively's personal publicist, Leslie Sloan.
Which brings us to Blake's role in this circus. And oh baby, is she playing it well? If well means failing spectacularly while still acting like she's above it all. Let's talk about that December 2024 New York Times article. The one that threw Justin Baldoni, Jennifer Abel, and Melissa Nathan under the bus with the elegance of a toddler driving a monster truck.
After she had confiscated the laptop and the phone of her employee, Jennifer Abel.
All of the evidence in that piece allegedly pulled straight from Abel's stolen phone. Texts, emails, private photos. The kind of stuff no one in their right mind should be touching without legal clearance.
But the way that Stephanie Jones got hold of all this information from Jennifer Abel is what really is jaw-dropping here.
But guess who apparently didn't care about legal clearance? Blake's team? Because of course. It's amazing how the same woman who posts cookie-cutter mom quotes on Instagram is perfectly fine using evidence that was possibly obtained in the shadiest way possible. Like, girl, you're out here pretending to be a feminist icon while doing backroom deals with a publicist who literally took someone's phone by force. But sure, let's keep pretending your brand is empowering women.
And she was told that she would get it back, but then Stephanie Jones decided not to give it back to her. So she never received her phone back, and instead, Stephanie Jones went to Blake Lively and said, hey, do you want all these text messages and emails?
And just when you think it couldn't get more cringe, let's talk about the emoji. Yes, an actual emoji is part of this lawsuit mess. There was a text between Abel and Nathan joking about the Blake drama. It included a sarcastic upside-down smiley sus, the universal sign of I'm obviously being sarcastic.
When you look at Stephanie Jones's Instagram, which is now made private for obvious reasons, in her profile she says, fluent in sarcasm.
But surprise, surprise, as that emoji magically vanished by the time Blake's team handed the message to the press. Wow. Either the New York Times deleted it, or Blake's people did, or Stephanie Jones, fluent in sarcasm, according to her now private Instagram bio, decided to clip it herself. I mean, the woman literally calls herself fluent in sarcasm and still handed over a sarcastic joke as a serious smear. That's either next level gaslighting or next level stupid. Pick one.
Stephanie Jones being annoyed with employees leaving her company. And that's why she leaked those text messages to Blake Lively's team.
Now let's be real. There is no universe where Blake didn't know this wasn't shady. You don't just get handed someone's private phone data and think, oh, this seems totally ethical and normal. And even if her brain was off that day, which, let's face it, might be a recurring thing, her team should have flagged this from a mile away. But no, they took it, used it, weaponized it, and then had the audacity to act shocked when people started asking questions.
Instead, Stephanie Jones went to Blake Lively and said, hey, do you want all these text messages and emails that you can use against Justin Baldoni and Melissa Nason and Jennifer Abel?
Blake Lively needs to stop pretending she's some innocent bystander when she's the one who lit the match. Her team allegedly weaponized illegally obtained texts to distract from the disaster that is, it ends with us, bad casting, worse trailers, and that tragic wig. Instead of owning the flop, Blake reportedly greenlit a revenge plot that blew up in her face faster than her acting in that bathtub scene. And now? She and Ryan are conveniently skipping the 2025 Met Gala. Sure, Blake. Definitely just a coincidence.
It is so clear Blake's case is falling apart. She's destroying her cred. Ryan Reynolds, too.
Let's be real. She didn't stumble into this scandal. She dove in, Chanel first, thinking she'd come out looking squeaky clean. But all she did was torch her image and give us front row seats to her downfall. Let's not forget the irony of this whole situation. Blake Lively, a 36-year-old, cast herself in a role written for a 20-something abused flower shop girl. The only thing more delusional than that casting choice is thinking she could erase the backlash by using data from a phone that wasn't hers. It's like watching someone set their house on fire and then try to fan the flames with an NDA.
According to the lawsuit, Stephanie Jones violated California labor laws by confiscating the phone and not giving it back to her.
And now, Blake's entire industry image is tanking faster than a Netflix rom-com. Word is, even Hollywood insiders, the same ones who used to kiss the ground she walked on, are done with her. She's officially entered the, ugh, her again phase of celebrity life. People are calling her fake, manipulative, and more out of touch than a flip phone in 2025. And when you start losing the people who used to hype you up for wearing a pantsuit, you know the fall from grace is real.
So she did. That was her personal phone.
But while Blake is out here playing the world's most unconvincing damsel, let's talk about the actual victims in this mess. Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan. These weren't celebrities with a safety net. These were professionals, real people, who just wanted to leave a toxic job and build something for themselves. Instead, they got steamrolled by a PR vendetta.
And she's planning revenge on Jennifer Abel and Melissa Nathan.
Jennifer Abel went from being a rising name in the industry to getting her personal life shredded because of her ex-boss, Stephanie Jones's ego trip. She didn't just lose a job. She reportedly lost her privacy, her bank access, her iCloud, her insurance info, her digital life.
And Stephanie Jones was really upset because she didn't want Jennifer Abel to take any of her clients with her.
Imagine having your whole life locked behind a phone number you no longer control, all because your employer threw a tantrum. And then, to make things worse, she's been getting death threats and abuse because her stolen texts were twisted and fed to the media, all while Blake Lively smirks on Instagram like she's doing a Dove commercial.
Her private information leaked and her email inbox and social media pages filled with a daily stream of death threats and abuse.
Melissa Nathan didn't get off any easier. She's been dragged too, thanks to messages that were taken way out of context. Because nothing says we respect women like publicly framing two professional women as backstabbers just to make your crumbling image look slightly less tragic. Blake's team used their words like ammunition, deliberately ignoring the sarcasm, the inside jokes, the humanity, to paint them as villains, when in reality, they're the ones who've been sabotaged, violated, and humiliated by people far more powerful.
She's a Me Too victim there. That's absurd. She seems like kind of a jerk. Wow, she's like kind of a bully. She's rather mean. This guy who had, comparatively very little power was forced now to come out and tell the truth about Blake Lively.
And let's not overlook the legal side here. Stephanie Jones is being accused of violating California labor laws. That's not a PR oopsie. That's real legal heat. The whole two-factor manipulation thing, refusing to release Abel's phone number and effectively locking her out of her entire digital identity, that's next level insane. We're talking actual tech abuse here, not some celebrity catfight. These women had their lives hijacked, not just their careers.
It also says in the lawsuit that as a result of Jones' malicious scheme, Abel's life has been turned upside down. Her career and reputation have been destroyed, her private information leaked, and her email inbox and social media pages.
Now enter Blake's PR ringmaster, Leslie Sloan, the woman who's been with Blake forever, the fixer, the damage controller, the phone call maker. According to the lawsuits, she's the one who accepted the stolen content, set the wheels in motion, and scheduled the leaks for maximum distraction. That's not PR, that's chess. Evil chess. But you can't win at chess when your queen's out here tripping over her own scandals.
And that's largely due to the fact that she is a modern feminist, and so she has to create struggle where there just isn't any.
Leslie Sloan allegedly used info from Abel's phone to strategically leak and manipulate press coverage. Call logs reportedly show her reaching out to people she shouldn't have even known existed. And all of this was allegedly done knowing full well that the content came from shady, possibly illegal methods. Like, you don't accidentally get a hold of private data and just think, oh yay, let's run this in the New York Times. There's no version of this where Blake's team walks away clean. And for the people still defending Blake, saying she's just a clueless actress caught in the storm, let's be real. You don't stay clueless when you're approving press releases, letting your team leak texts, and conveniently skipping the biggest fashion event of the year while your PR house burns to the ground. That's not clueless. That's calculated, and badly calculated at that.
I see a bully being, a bully attacking somebody. The bully being Blake Lively and our powerful lawyers. And thank goodness Justin's got support to be able to fight back this time.
What's wild is that Blake and her team really thought they were playing 4D chess when they were actually building a house of cards on a windy day. They thought leaking private messages would shift the narrative, but all it did was prove how desperate and out of touch they are. And now, with the lawsuits mounting, the public turning, and insiders jumping ship, Blake Lively has officially lost the one thing that mattered more than good press: control.
You don't want to believe that execs at the very tippity top are being essentially threatened or bullied or coerced or extorted and by a couple like Ryan and Blake or like Taylor Swift, right?
So to recap, Blake welcomed illegal evidence with open arms, used it to save herself from her own flop, trashed 2 innocent women in the process, let her team handle the dirty work, and now wants us to believe she's still the good guy. Please, this isn't Gossip Girl. This is Real Housewives of Legal Hell. And Blake, you're not the narrator, you're the villain.
She has a track record of being difficult to work with, from Armie Hammer, who got fired from Gossip Girl because he said during a dinner that she was a bitch.
Let's just get into it. No need to sugarcoat anything when the entire entertainment industry is quietly inching away from Blake Lively, like she's the last cheese cube at a Hollywood networking event that nobody wants to touch. Welcome to part 3, where the gossip villain is getting ghosted by her own team, her peers, and basically anyone with a career they'd like to keep. Remember when Blake Lively was Hollywood's golden girl? Yeah, that era's dead. Jenny Slate and Brandon Sklenar, once vocal supporters, are now dodging Blake like she's a TMZ mic. Colleen Hoover, author of It Ends With Us, is spiraling on Instagram, clearly regretting ever handing her book to Blake's flop factory. Then there's Billy Bush. Yes, that Billy, who's risen from the cancellation grave just to roast Blake on his new podcast. And the real kicker? Even Armie Hammer, the guy accused of cannibalism, won't comment on her. When the industry's weirdest pariahs won't even say your name, you're officially toxic. Blake isn't just losing fans, she's getting ghosted by Hollywood, and it's deliciously tragic to watch. Insiders are already spilling that support for Blake is drying up faster than a Sephora tester in August. Apparently, people are talking behind the scenes, saying they want nothing to do with her. Publicly, it's all quiet, but privately, it's full-on damage control mode. Nobody wants to get caught in her mess because everyone knows it's not just a bad look, it's career kryptonite. This isn't just a reputation hit, it's a reputation crash, followed by an embarrassing silence that not even the best PR script can save.
The thing is, Stephanie Jones already had a really bad reputation in Hollywood. There have been articles written about her that she can be extremely rude and extremely pushy.
For someone who used to rule red carpets like a high-fashion dictator, Blake now rules awkward silence. And no, that's not a new branding campaign. That's what happens when you let your ego drive the PR bus straight into oncoming traffic. She was once the definition of put together. Now she's the face of maybe just don't. And now the legal firestorm begins. There are at least 6 lawsuits flying around, all circling like vultures over a very expensive, very public disaster. The total claims? A cute little $400 million. That's right. The same woman who probably once argued with her stylist over a $5,000 gown is now facing court drama with a price tag big enough to buy a private island. Justin Baldoni, meanwhile, is not playing nice. With lawyer Brian Friedman by his side, he's going full beast mode.
Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss.
They're vowing to reveal the entire circus of betrayal, starting with Stephanie Jones, and working all the way through to the PR puppets who ran the show behind the scenes, including Blake's people. There's blood in the water, and Blake's pretending she's not holding the knife.
And has been very furious when other clients have left her company, or other people have left her company. She's been sending threatening messages to people, and apparently she was acting very threatening.
And what's Jones's defense, you ask? that Abel, Nathan, and Baldoni all got together like some kind of discount Ocean's 11 crew to destroy her business, as if she didn't detonate it herself with her unhinged obsession, psychics, FaceTime funeral calls, and aggressive phone theft tactics. Jones didn't need a conspiracy. She was the conspiracy. Her whole vibe screams, if I can't have them, no one can. And now she's spiraling into courtroom chaos with the grace of a drunk flamingo.
Jones was obsessed with Baldoni, and particularly Abel witnessed Jones working with journalists to plant and contribute to negative stories about former clients who had fired Jones Works and Jones.
But if the court rules that the phone data Stephanie Jones handed over was illegally obtained, which it sure looks like, then guess what? All of that precious evidence Blake's team used to save her from her "it ends with us" flop could be tossed out like expired hummus, meaning every shady leak, every manipulated text, every calculated smear might be deemed completely useless. And that's not just a legal L. That's a nuclear PR implosion.
The insider piece shed more light on the real Jones. Always a volatile personality, Jones had become noticeably more paranoid, erratic, and cruel in recent years.
And now, finally, we arrive at the collapse. Blake Lively's image as the wholesome blonde America wanted to protect is going down in flames faster than her box office projections. All of this, the stolen texts, the shady PR, the legal mess, has peeled back the curtain to show us what she really is. Desperate, calculated, and not half as sweet as she pretends to be.
Makes more sense when you're watching a show that there's not an obvious choice between good and evil. So she would seem like the obvious choice, but she's also got, flaws as well. But I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
Her entanglement with Stephanie Jones has completely wrecked her credibility. No one's buying the "I'm just a quirky mom who likes fashion and baking" shtick anymore. You can't be skipping into cooking videos while your name is attached to lawsuits, leaked messages, and PR takedowns. It's not relatable, it's revolting.
Jones also pried in her employees' private lives without invitation. As detailed by Insider, employees would call in sick, but she'd then FaceTime them to confirm they were actually sick.
The worst part? For all that scheming, all that manipulation, all that gaslighting with strategically edited messages and emoji erasures, Blake doesn't even look like the clueless victim. She looks complicit, straight up. She had the opportunity to stop it, question it, distance herself. Instead, she grabbed the ammo and fired, and now she's trying to act surprised that it backfired? Girl, please. You helped light the match and then stood in the ashes acting confused. She didn't just protect herself from a PR disaster, she became the disaster. Blake Lively is now the cautionary tale for every celeb who thinks they can spin, leak, and manipulate their way out of a mess without consequences. There's no film reshoot here, no second take. What's done is done. Final thought? Blake didn't just sip the stolen tea. She chugged it, weaponized it, and then tripped over the teacup. And now she's soaking in the mess, stained by her own choices, and realizing that not even her favorite filter can fix what she's done.